An agreement forged between local animal advocacy groups, the Humane Society of the United States or HSUS, agricultural trade associations, and Ohio Governor Ted Strickland. The agreement promotes bans on cockfighting and exotic animal purchase.
In Ohio, HSUS worked out an agreement with the agriculture groups to have 8 animal welfare reforms advanced in the state.
I am pleased and proud to announce today a joint agreement between Ohio's agricultural leaders and the Humane Society of the United States. This agreement is unique in that it addresses more than just livestock care issues. The agreement also addresses regulations on dangerous and exotic animals.
Governor of Ohio, Democrat Ted Strickland, put in place state rules for Ohio. Governor Strickland banned the private ownership of all of those animals. But this year, the new John Kasich administration took over in the Ohio governor's office and decided that the exotic animal ban was not for them. They let the exotic animal rules in Ohio expire.
Obviously, when it comes to the issue of these animals, I don't want them to be here, these exotic animals. And as a result of that, they started working on, a working group to get that done. And then they formalized a working group, and all the parties, whether it's the Humane Society, whether it is the zoos, whether it's even local law enforcement. I don't know everybody on the task force, but they're working on it. This group had set, by the end of the year, a deadline together to come up with a legislative solution. They set a deadline. For example, they had a meeting scheduled for Monday, before any of this.
911. There's a bear and a lion out.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, there's a lion on Mount Perry Road in Gray Shot.
911. Sheriff's Office.
911, where's your emergency?
I'm at the Heath High School. I just saw a wolf.
We're shooting to kill.
And if you live in Ohio and you see a leopard, a bear, or a lion or a cheetah, don't run.
Deadly safari in the suburbs of Ohio today. As more than 50 lions, Bengal tigers, and bears roamed the streets, residents locking their homes, children kept behind closed doors.
Exotic animals, wild animals on the loose. What may be the biggest release of dangerous carnivores in U.S. history.
It was a jungle out there. And last night, the police say, for reasons we may never know, he set the animals free and then took his own life. Then it got very dangerous very fast.
Deputies with shoot-to-kill orders used their pistols to take down lions, tigers, bears, and wolves before the sun went down.
I gave the order on the way here that if animals looked like they were going out, they went down. We could not have animals running loose in this county.
Daylight.
It is still not a completely secured area.
There were still wild animals on the loose.
State 70, where reportedly 2 of the animals lost their lives in traffic.
Today, schools were ordered closed. Children kept indoors.
We are not talking about your normal, everyday house cat or dog. These are 300-pound Bengal tigers.
They were killed because they were running free, running loose in a dangerous situation. This is wrong. This is way wrong.
Casting blame for the Zanesville animal deaths.
The protest was quiet, no chanting or shouting, just some signs.
The best way to avoid this is to implement a ban on the ownership of wild animals.
The protesters want the governor and the General Assembly to implement a total ban on owning animals.
But I'll do everything I can over my dead body to put these people out of business.
After facing a week of criticism for not enforcing a previous exotic animal rule, Governor Kasich today, Friday, issued a new executive order.
The executive order signed by the governor last week tells ODNR to more aggressively enforce the current laws. It does not ban ownership or require owners to register their animals with the state.
Let's use the powers we have and let's think through what we need to do to get a handle on this.
It seemed a little symbolic.
It's totally symbolic. What did he do?
Troy Balderson of Zanesville is looking for help. He needs a co-sponsor to his bill to regulate wild and dangerous animals in Ohio.
State Senator Troy Balderson's bill would ban any new ownership of exotic animals. They packed the hearing room and lined up to testify against Senate Bill 310. They're passionate about their exotic animals. And tongue-in-cheek, a pet monkey scanning a copy of the legislation.
10-year-old John Mancuso showed up out of concern for his snake.
I don't want to lose my pet.
A number of people argued the bill goes too far in restricting ownership of snakes. They said snakes pose almost no risk to the public. They're used in educational demonstrations, and they are, in fact, pets.
I have several species that I've kept for many, many years that I would have to either get rid of or move. I would have to move out of state in order basically to keep my family intact. You know, they are family members, just like a dog or a cat.
The legislation would take Ohio from being one of the least restrictive states to one of the most restrictive for ownership of exotic animals.
The measure cleared the Senate and now goes to the House for consideration.
A bill that will tighten regulations on owning exotic animals is headed to the governor. He's expected to sign the legislation.
Governor Kasich signed the law today.
Ohio's crackdown officially started today. Buying or selling exotic animals is now illegal in the Buckeye State.
I don't like the idea of these auctions. I'd like to figure out how we can find out what's here, how we do registration. But you know, say you want to license somebody, and you say, okay, you're gonna pay $5,000 for every animal. There could be unintended consequences to doing that.
Who is to go ahead and take care of the laws he wanted to have enforced? We don't have the people to go up and knock on a door and find out where these animals are.
The zoos in Ohio have really banded together to try to force some legislation.
And all of a sudden I tell you, you're holding all these animals, and all of a sudden I tell you, well, you can't auction these animals off. What do you do with them? See, that's the problem with the order that we had. Who's picking them up? Where are you going to put them? I mean, it's, you know, what is the unintended consequence of doing something that you look back, you know, right now we do something, we get a headline, and 3 months later we go, oh my God, we didn't even, or my gosh, we didn't even think about that, you know?
When you said we had 55 animals out there, let's say I went out there last week and I was going to go there to take those animals. Where would those animals go? There was no place to go.
Will the zoos take these animals, you know? I mean, there's a lot of questions out there that need to be answered.
They get calls every month from exotic pet owners wanting to turn the animals over to the zoo.
They're now saying, you know, can the zoo take? Well, zoos don't have the capacity to take some of these animals.
What do we do with 55 animals? We can't go up there as a Columbus Zoo, and we have one of the largest zoos in North America, by the way, probably one of the top 3 out of 220. We have no place to put 55 lions, tigers, and all these animals.